With England failing to qualify for the knockout stages and taking it to match day 3, it's meant that I've had to change my wildcard team once again. So in today's video, I'm going to show you my final match day 3 wildcard team selection and those big changes that I have made, because there have been quite a few. So as always, if you look forward to today's video, make sure to drop a like and of course hit that subscribe button. Enough waffling, let's get to today's video. So first up, we need to take a look at the current situation going into match day 3. Who are the teams that are qualified, which ones have finished first already, who's eliminated, and then we can get a bit of a better picture on which teams we need to target. I first want to apologise, it is the hottest day of the year in England, so I am sweating. So it will be a quicker video than usual, just so I don't melt while I'm on screen. So want to take a look at these group stages going into the final game week. Where is the real value for our wildcard teams? So take a look at the first group of games kicking off at 8 PM UK time. We have got Group B, Switzerland against Canada and Bosnia against Qatar. None of these teams are qualified yet. That group is still up for grabs, but I don't think the Switzerland-Canada game is really offering that much value. However, I think Bosnian defenders are good investments, and spoiler alert, there is one at least in my squad. Taking a look at Group C, this is the biggest group right now in terms of what could happen. Morocco and Brazil tied on points, Scotland 1 point behind, and they're going to do everything they can to upset the apple cart against Brazil. Realistically, I think Morocco is where you want to go for a possible triple up. I think a Brazil attacker is absolutely fine for that Scotland game. Group A for me is a complete avoid. We got already Mexico finishing first. All the rest of the teams are up for grabs, but I don't really think there is enough value in Group A. And Group E, also with Ecuador and Germany, I don't think there's any value in those two teams. But Ivory Coast against Curacao, Ivory Coast, if they win, they have qualified. That is the game that you absolutely have to target in Group E if you want to. In terms of Group F, again, a group where nobody's officially qualified, but Tunisia have already been knocked out. Japan, Sweden, a game I would avoid. I don't really think there's enough value in that game. But a triple up on Netherlands, I feel, is essential going into match day 3. And again, that is a feature in my wildcard team. It's just trying to identify the best 3 Netherlands players. And we will take a look at those in the next section. In terms of Group D, again, a group that I think we should just avoid. I know Turkey are out, but USA are finished and are top of the group. So I don't think you can predict the minutes of those. And Paraguay, Australia, again, I just don't think there is any value in either of those two teams for match day 3. Take a look at Group I, again, another tasty group, because Norway and France have both qualified, but they're battling it out for the top spot. Are France really going to play their best team? I think they'll play their best players, but I think there will be a sprinkling of some rotation in that squad. What it will be said, I think Haaland would definitely start, and I think Mbappe would definitely start, because if you haven't noticed, there already is a very tasty race for the Golden Boot. There is no chance either of those players are going to want to sit out in any particular game. So I think France are a good investment still, and I think Mbappe is great. In terms of the Senegal-Iraq game, Senegal have been very poor. I think it's a case of you are buying them with the anticipation of Iraq being bad, rather than what we've seen with our eyes in terms of Senegal themselves. I think you can go there. I think there is value in Senegalese players, but I don't think I've seen enough from them to think there is any confidence that they will deliver in match day 3. Taking a look at some of the later teams, Uruguay against Spain, again, the group's still up for grabs. Crazy, I know, but Spain against Uruguay, I expect Spain to win, but I also think this will be a tougher test. Uruguay know if they don't really get a result, they might not be qualifying. So I think that is a good game for Spain, but not the best game to target for match day 3. In terms of Group G, New Zealand, Belgium, you can go for Belgian players, but I haven't really been that excited by them. I do think Egypt and Mo Salah against Iran, if they win, they have qualified. I think that is a decent fixture. Group L, this is the big one. With England getting a draw and Croatia winning, it's going down to match day 3. England know they've pretty much qualified, but they need to get that win against Panama, who themselves have now been eliminated. So I do think England players are now back on the menu, whereas they weren't before, with the anticipation that they were going to beat Ghana. Now that they haven't, I think England, knowing that they pretty much have to beat Panama just to guarantee everything for that group stage, I do think the big guns, Kane, Bellingham, I think O'Reilly, all play for England. And spoiler, I've got 2 of those in my particular squad. Take a look at the final groups, and I really don't see any investment here. Uzbekistan against Congo. If you want to go Visa, you can. I just don't really love it. Colombia against Portugal. Colombia have qualified. Portugal still need to get a result. But again, do I think Portugal are incredible for match day 3? Not really. And then Argentina against Jordan should be a great fixture. But Argentina have topped the group. Are they going to rotate some players? I think that will be the case. I think Julian Alvarez is one that you can consider though. And then Algeria, Austria. I mean, if you want to go there, you can. So really, things have changed. I think England now need to be included in your matchday 3 wildcard team. Obviously, we knew Netherlands were a big investment, so too Ivory Coast with their brilliant fixture. And then it's a case of how you kind of think other teams are and how competitive they're going to be. But enough waffling, let's get into my wildcard team. So take a look at my final matchday 3 wildcard team selection, and a reminder, the kickoff is going to be at 8 PM UK time, so you've got until then to make your changes to your squad, but I would advise trying to get it done a little bit earlier just in case the site does crash. I think it will be a very popular time with managers activating their wildcards in matchday 3. Like I said, mine is active and I've committed to this strategy. So first up, in terms of the goalkeeper and defence, we're still going for Bono at Morocco. I think the fixture against Haiti is fantastic. Morocco have proved to be very sound defensively. Yes, I think there are good alternative goalkeepers in the game, and I do think if you're chasing scouting bonus, you absolutely can go somewhere else. Bono is at 5.6%, so you're not getting that scouting bonus. And I know people in the comment section were saying to me, you know, why aren't you going for a goalkeeper that has scouting bonus? And I do think there is a possibility that this could and should change, but I also just think to myself, I back Bono to get a clean sheet against Haiti, and I'm happy to just go there. If I don't get scouting bonus, obviously I'm not. It is what it is. Yes, there are other goalkeepers that you can go to, and one of those that I have on my bench is a scouting bonus goalkeeper if you want to consider one yourself. But for me, Bono is a great start for that game against Haiti. Now, in terms of my back four, we're going for the double up of Morocco with Riyad. Now, previously I had Mazraoui. I didn't go for Hakimi because I couldn't really afford him. But I looked at it and thought, I don't really think there's much difference between Mazraoui or Riyad, who's like 0.4 million cheaper. So I thought, why not just go the cheaper option? So for those who don't know, Riyad is currently 3.9 million and he's only selected by 0.8% of the game. So we're going to get the scouting bonus at least in one player in that Morocco defense, which is absolutely fine with me. He's played back-to-back 90 minutes, so I think Riyad is just a great pick for match day 3 for guaranteed minutes, scouting bonus, and hopefully a clean sheet. We spoke about Klasniak before. He is going to be in. I want a piece of that Bosnia defense against Qatar. I think Qatar are one of the worst teams in this tournament. I think Bosnia are just going to basically try and grind out any sort of 1-0 win they possibly can. So I am going to go for Klasniak. Is it a bit of a nostalgic pick? Yes, a little bit. It gives me a bit of a captaincy fun as well in that opening game if I want to go there, which it currently is on him. But as you know, I will inevitably change that captaincy unless somehow Klasniak decides to bang a hat-trick in that game, which I'll be very grateful of. In terms of the other defenders, we've got Doué. This is just the assumption that he is going to play right back for Ivory Coast in that brilliant game against Curacao. I think that probably will be the case. We had the injury to their regular right back, so I'm expecting Doué to come in. Bit of an attacking fullback when he does play for them, so I think that's quite an exciting option. And I do believe, yes, 2.2% owned, he is still in that scouting bonus threshold. So I'm anticipating him to start with that great game against Curacao. And then we've got Dumfries. Dumfries are really good in match day 2. Netherlands still need to get a result to guarantee top spot. And again, against Tunisia, who have been knocked out, who have been really poor, I think there's good value in that Netherlands defence, and in particular, someone like Dumfries. But to be honest with you, if you can't afford Dumfries, I think Van Dijk is absolutely fine. He looked really good from set pieces. And also, I really think Van de Ven is fine. He gets attacking opportunities down that left-hand side. Yes, he isn't as finessed as Dumfries in that final third, but I still think Van de Ven offers some value if you want to go for a bit of a cheaper option. And even if you want to go Van de Heck and free up all the funds, I don't think that's a terrible move at all. But that'll be my back four based on when the players are featuring. But it will be said, the players on my bench, I am anticipating to come into my starting 11 because they're just too good with their fixtures. Moving into my matchday 3 midfielders, and it will be said, this was a tough spot to fill for the players. I think there's some really good options. There's also a lot of options that are kind of hovering around. Could they be fantastic or could they be a little bit of a rotation risk? For example, I previously had Lamine Yamal. Spoiler alert, he isn't in my squad. I think he's a brilliant pick, but I also think there are other options available where they offer a bit more upside and guaranteed minutes in their respective national teams. So currently got Sabari of Morocco. Again, everybody's going to own him pretty much. He's playing as a forward in this Morocco team. He's been fantastic in the opening 2 games. I want a piece of that attack, and he feels like the obvious choice going into this team. Again, in terms of the scouting bonus, you ain't getting the scouting bonus because he's 8.5% owned, but it's 6.8 million, playing as a forward. He feels like a bit of a cheat code going into match day 3. So even though I don't think Morocco score a lot of goals, if they do score goals, it does feel like it funnels very much through him in both of the games that I've seen. Can't lie to you and say that I've been watching Morocco play for the last couple of years. So based on what we know right now, Sabari is a good choice in that Morocco team. For me, I had to get a bit of the Brazilian attack. It had to be Vinicius Jr. We can afford him with these matchday 3 wildcard teams. Yes, I do think Scotland will make it difficult for them, but sorry, Scotland fans, I do think Brazil are better than Scotland, and I am anticipating Brazil to score a couple of goals in that game nonetheless. And if that is going to happen, I am expecting Vinicius to be part of that at least. And then we got Mane with that game against Iraq. Now, again, I would rather have Ismail Assar, but he's classified as a forward on the game, and there are so many brilliant forwards in this matchday 3 wildcard draft, and ones that I've completely avoided. So I'm going for Mane. I think he's got guaranteed minutes enough. I think he definitely will play against Iraq, and we know the situation with Senegal. They just simply have to win. And I do think they have the attacking players in this team to score goals. Hopefully Mane keeps his spot. I would like to think he does, being kind of the older statesman in that team with the experience. So Mane's going to be in for that game against Iraq, just because I think they have to win this game. And I would like to think Iraq are no better than Senegal. But, you know, Senegal have been quite disappointing in these opening 2 match days. Okay, so moving into my forwards and bench, and this is where the big changes have been made. So Gakpo's in. He's been in since day 1. I think he's looked one of the better attacking options in that Netherlands team. He kind of makes up my team alongside Somerville, who is also on my bench. But I think with Gakpo, I do think he offers guaranteed game time. We know he's on penalties, and the game against Tunisia, where Netherlands need to get a result and Tunisia have already been knocked out, I think that's a great fixture. So Gakpo's in. There's no way he's going to be leaving this team. But Mbappe and Kane are going to make up the premium forwards. Now, Mbappe was in ever since we knew that France and Norway were qualified, but few things. 1, I think France are going to try and get top spot, and 2, the golden boot race has been no better. Messi on, I believe, 5 goals. Mbappe's on 4, I believe. We got Kane with a couple. We got Ronaldo with a brace. We got Haaland, who scored loads of goals. So I don't see Mbappe sitting there going, you know what, I'm happy to be benched. They're fighting out for top spot, and he personally is fighting out for the golden boot. I think it's quite scary going against Kylian Mbappe, but I do think a lot of people will, because a lot of people right now are going for probably the likes of Diamande of Ivory Coast, and I think he's absolutely fine, don't get me wrong. I think the fixture against Curacao is a great game, and is there a chance he maybe makes it into my team? Yes, but I also think Diamande's been quite a little bit in the final third. He looks electric on the ball, but when he does get into those final third areas, I do think he's a little bit poor with his decision making. But it's against Curacao. There is a chance that Ivory Coast do just smoke them, and I might regret my choices. But we're going for the proven players in Mbappe and Kane. Now, I haven't even thought about Kane during this whole tournament, well, going into match day 3, but with that England result against Ghana, meaning that England kind of need to get a result against Panama. Panama have been knocked out. I think England will learn from their ways in match day 2, and I would like to think Kane does play this game. Yes, there is a world where Tony or Watkins plays, but I just think Tuchel has his untouchables that include the likes of Declan Rice, Harry Kane. And Rice did limp off in that game at the end. We saw him in the press conference kind of with his legs strapped. So I can't see him resting both Rice and Kane in a really, really important fixture. So Kane's now in just because I think they will learn from their mistakes. I think Kane is just a proven goal scorer in a competition like this. So we're going for the premiums up front. I'm avoiding some big names. I'm avoiding the likes of Messi. I'm avoiding the likes of Diamande at Ivory Coast as an example. Not Oyarzabal of Spain. So very difficult right now building this wildcard team with so many brilliant options. In terms of the bench, we got Fofana of the Ivory Coast. Now again, with him, he does offer scouting bonus at 2.2%, and he has the great game against Curacao. So if Bono doesn't keep a clean sheet, then I will play Fofana. And even if Bono does keep a clean sheet, I may even bring in Fofana still, back him to get a clean sheet, and so too those scouting bonus points if I want to roll the dice on a decent scenario. Now O'Reilly's coming in. I thought Jed Spence offered nothing in that England team whatsoever. Didn't overlap. Didn't really do much. Yes, he was in the team to counter the Ghanaian pace, and I get it. I understand why he didn't play John Stones and he didn't play O'Reilly, because he needed those athletes at the back in the shape of Jed Spence and Gahey. But going into this Panama game, we lost so much in that Ghanaian game going forward that O'Reilly showed in the final 20 minutes. So I think Tuchel will be crazy not to start O'Reilly. He needs to not worry about the counter-attack, and he needs to worry about the attacking impetus in the final third. And O'Reilly, I mean, he could have scored a hat-trick. Not in this game, but in the 2 games. 3 goals in 2 games, I think, would actually be a realistic takeaway for O'Reilly. And I think he's a brilliant option. Am I getting a scouting bonus with O'Reilly? Absolutely not. But I do think he is a brilliant pick going into matchday 3. Somerville's in to make up the triple up of the Netherlands. We're going all in with that game, and I thought Somerville was fantastic when he came on at halftime, and I do think he will start in matchday 3. But again, any Netherlands fans out there, if you are questioning that, let me know, because I can take him out worst case scenario. And then we got Mo Salah. Again, a bit of a premium in my team, but I think the game against Iran is good. So Salah is going to be in as a bit of an alternative player if I want to go there. In terms of captaincy, because this is a big one right now, and also I ain't waking up at 3 a.m. to captain certain players. So right now we got Kolasinac. So if we look at the fixtures, I'll go for Kolasinac in the Bosnian game. Then at 11 p.m, if he doesn't deliver, I'll put the captaincy most likely on Vinicius against Scotland. I could go for a Moroccan player against Haiti, but I think I will go for Vinicius and roll the dice. I haven't got any players in the 2 a.m. games because I ain't waking up at 2 a.m. I'm sorry, I'm not that committed. Then 9 p.m. in England time, remember, we can go for an Ivory Coast player if we want to go there. I haven't got any Ecuadorian or German players. I will try and stay up at midnight for the Netherlands game, because then I can put the captaincy on Cody Gakpo. But again, I'm not waking up at 3 a.m, hence why I've avoided Group D. Then in Group I can go for Mbappe if I want to in that game against Norway. Again, I ain't waking up at 1 a.m. Part of the reason why I didn't go for any Spanish players to roll the dice on captaincy, and I ain't waking up at 4 a.m. So Mo Salah will be in my team, but as a non-captain, unless I default it on him at midnight. Then we have got the big guns. We have got Harry Kane at 10 p.m. for that game on Saturday if we want to go there. So I'm pretty happy with the team. I think I've covered all bases. Yes, I've avoided Spain, but I've got to avoid one big nation at some capacity in matchday 3. So it's going to be Spain. Let me know your thoughts on the comment section, but I'm pretty much locked in. And a reminder, the deadline, for anyone that doesn't know, is going to be 8 p.m. UK time. Yes, guys, okay, that's going to wrap up today's video looking at my matchday 3 wildcard team selection. Like I said, it's been a tough one to build. There's been a lot of changes, but I'm pretty content with what I've made now. Please do let me know in the comment section if I've missed any big players. I know I haven't got Diamandi of Ivory Coast. Could he come in? Yes, but who the hell do I take out of Gakpo, Kane, and Mbappe? You tell me in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop a like, hit that subscribe button. Any questions, put them in the comment section. But most importantly, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Cheers.